Well, hello, Chris Frankie back again, and I just wanted to do a little video for you about some of the common questions I get as a real estate agent, and I'm sure all the real estate agents across the country really probably get the same types of questions. The first thing that I always get asked is, when are the prices coming down, or when are interest rates coming down? Now, that is a crystal ball question, right? I do not have the crystal ball, so I don't know. We can look at trends and we can try to figure out what's going to happen. But for those two questions, the prices and the interest rates, it's really hard to say. Now, right now, the prices are trending down a little bit, so the prices are coming down. Interest rates have been moving down a little bit as well. But does that mean next week the prices won't go up, or that next week the interest rates won't go up? It certainly does not. And that's why I say it's a crystal ball question. So we can look at the trends and try to figure out what's going to happen, but we really never know for sure. Now, the other question, two questions that I get all the time that I can have a little bit more information about is it a good time to buy? And the other question I get all the time is, should I buy or should I rent? So let's look at the first question. Is it a good time to buy? I will give you the same answer that I give all the time to everybody I talk to. If you can qualify for the loan, if you can afford the payments, and you do not see a change in your income, I believe it is always the right time to buy. Prices are going to go up and down. Interest rates are going to go up and down. So you can't really wait for that and try to pick the moment that you think it's at the very top, bottom, or whatever it is. But again, if you can afford it, you can qualify, and you don't see a change in your income, I believe it's a great time to buy all the time. I believe in ownership above rentals. Now, that's the second part of the question, right? Should I buy or should I rent? So I did prepare a little board right here with some numbers on it, because some people learn visually better than just by me talking about it. So I wanted to put some numbers here and kind of show you one of the differences between renting and owning. Now, there are a lot of different variables, of course, but what we're going to do in this example is I'm going to use my home right over here. This is the home that I bought back at the end of 2021. This is the information from my home. Then here in the middle, we're going to talk about renting. Here on the end, we're going to talk about owning. So again, this is going to be an apples to apples comparison. We're going to assume that the market is not going to change at all, go up or down or whatever for 5, 10 years, whatever, it stays exactly the same. We're also going to say that in both scenarios, the person is making $60,000 a year. And we're also going to say in both scenarios, they're in a 20% tax bracket for federal income taxes. Here in Nevada, we do not have state income taxes. So we'll just look at federal income taxes. And I know that's a high number, 20%, but it was an easy number to try to work in this example. And that's why I used it. So let's start over here with this house right now that I'm living in. And when I bought it, it was $334,418. I did get a 3.49 interest rate at that time. And I mean, that's a really good interest rate. At that time, that was pretty common. And my monthly payment is $1,822.65. So that's what I have to pay. And in that payment, over the course of a year, I will have paid $21,871.80 for 12 of those payments. And this is a breakdown of what that would consist of. So the principal, money paid towards principal, is going to be about $6,400. The interest that I'm paying in that first year is about $11,500. And the property taxes that are going into an escrow account are $3,800 for this home. Now, at the end of a year, if again the market stays exactly the same, and we're just going to assume that for this example, then my principal owed after the first year would be $327,000, almost $328,000, and we started at $334,000. So that means I would have about $6,400 in equity in this home. Apples to apples, everything stays the same, right? So now let's take a look at, as a renter, what would that mean for this same house? Now again, we did assume a $60,000 a year salary and a 20% tax rate for your federal income taxes. So with that in mind, you would be paying $12,000 for the year in income taxes, right? That would leave you with $48,000 cash, right? Spendable money for everything you need that year. And again, in using the same example, let's say you're making payments of $1,800, you're renting for $1,822 a month. And over the course of a year, you're going to spend $21,871 for that rent. So we minus that out of the $48,000 you have after taxes, and that leaves you with $26,128 for your spendable money throughout the year for whatever else that may be that you need to take care of. Of course, you have utilities and you have your phone and your car and your insurance and all these things that have to come out of that, plus anything that you like to do for fun that you enjoy throughout the year. So that's just one quick example on the rent side. So now we'll take a look at the ownership side. Now, again, assuming the same information, apples to apples, right? We are going to say that the person owning this house, me in this case, is making $60,000 a year. Now, the difference here that we're going to start out with is because you're the home owner, you can write off the amount you pay in interest and the amount you pay for your property taxes. So right out of your $60,000, let's take those numbers off because those are write-offs. Now your adjusted gross income is now $44,571. And that's the number that you would get taxed on at our 20% rate. So now I'm only paying $8,900 in taxes as opposed to $12,000. So that's one big difference because as a renter, you can't write off your rental payments. As far as I know, I'm not an expert in taxes, so I'm not a tax professional. You definitely have to check with your tax professionals to get the exact numbers of what is going on with your life and your situation. So again, this is just some of the stuff that's happened to me or that I've seen over the years. Again, I am not a tax professional. So let's get that out of the way right off the bat, or not right off the bat because we're already into it. But anyway, so now you take that $60,000 that you made for the year and you take out $8,900 for taxes. And now I'm left with $51,000 as my spendable cash. And then I'm going to take out the payments that I'm making on this home, which again, we've already established throughout the year will be $21,871. So that's right here. Now that leaves me with $29,000 after the home to pay all the things I need to pay for the year. And the same things, right? So utilities and phone and car and insurance and all that stuff. But now I have $29,000 to do it as opposed to $26,000. So that means I have $3,088 more in spendable cash after paying for the home or renting the home, right? Comparable here. And that's 11.8% increase in the amount of money that I have. Now, obviously, there are some differences to renting and owning that we need to also kind of figure into this. So as a renter, if something happens with your home, the person that owns it, your landlord, will have to take care of that for you, right? If anything breaks or anything goes wrong, they'll have to take care of that. Whereas if you're the owner, you have to take care of it, right? So we have insurance and we have different things to cover stuff, homeowners insurance and stuff like that, that can help you out, warranties, any of those kinds of things that can help out with that. But again, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, I would rather have this extra $3,088 a year, and I could use that to put into a fund for repairs or whatever I need. The difference is if I'm the owner, and again, the market stays exactly the same and my house is worth $334 for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, then I'm going to have $6,400 in equity every year, and actually a little bit more because your interest will go down, the amount of interest you're paying, because the interest slowly goes down and the principal slowly goes up. So even if we just said $6,400, after 10 years, I would have $64,000 in equity on this home. And if I was the renter, I would not. And that's one of the things I talk about too that makes me look at owning a home as almost a savings account for your future, right? Because we're all wondering, not when you're so young, but we're all wondering about retirement and what that's going to mean and how we're going to be comfortable. And owning a home could help you with that. Again, there's a lot of different strategies. I am not an accountant or a tax professional, like I said, so you would have to meet with some type of professional to find out the exact terms of what could help you in your life and your current situation. But again, this is just one example of one of the differences between renting and owning. Like I said, there's a lot of variables, and we could have a conversation about your situation and what's going to work best for you, because it's not the same for everybody. Give you the best opinions that I can, share my knowledge with you and the best recommendations so we could have that conversation. But again, just apples to apples. This is the home. This is renting the home. This is owning the home. I'm stepping out of the way so you can see all these numbers. Again, some people are visual learners, so hopefully that helps a little bit. If you have any questions about this kind of stuff or any questions about real estate, please let me know. Again, my name is Chris Franke. My information will be at the end of this video. I would love to just share my knowledge with you so you can take that information and decide what is best for you, your current situation, and or possibly your family and your future that real estate maybe can help out with. So again, let's just have the conversations. There's no need to worry about any expectations, just a conversation about what works best for you or any questions you might have. So I hope you have a great day. It's another beautiful day out here in Las Vegas. So I've got to get out and enjoy some of the sunshine because it gets dark a little earlier right now. So I hope you have a great day too, and I'll talk to you soon.